How to find strength in chaos. Lessons from Stoic philosophy. What do you do when the world feels like it's falling apart? Not just the outer world, but the one inside you. The news is loud. People argue like truth is a weapon. Deadlines press down like concrete. The mind races, but never seems to arrive. Sleep doesn't fix it. Motivation feels fake. Your hands shake not because you're weak, but because you're overwhelmed. And you wonder, how do some people remain calm in this? How do some people stand tall while others are drowning? The answer is not magic. It's not talent. It's discipline of thought. It's philosophy with blood in it. It's the ancient art of Stoicism. Not the fake kind. Not the meme version that tells you to be unbothered and move on. But the real Stoicism. The kind taught by men who faced exile, war, poverty, disease, and betrayal, and still chose to master themselves instead of blaming the world. This is not about pretending nothing hurts. It's about becoming strong enough that pain doesn't control you. Imagine this. You're in the middle of a storm. Winds howling, trees snapping, debris flying. But you are still. You feel the storm, but you don't become it. That's Stoicism. And it starts with a simple idea. You don't control the world. You only control your response to it. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. It means stop trying to control what you never could. The weather, people's opinions, the economy, the past. These things are beyond you. But how you think, how you act, how you show up, that's yours. That's always been yours. Epictetus, born a slave, later became one of the greatest Stoic teachers. He said, "There is only one path to happiness, and that is in giving up all outside of your power." So when the chaos screams, you don't scream back. You return to what is yours. Your focus, your values, your effort. The second Stoic principle is amor fati, the love of fate. Not just acceptance, not just tolerance, but love for what happens. Even the pain, even the setback, even the failure, especially the failure. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, the most powerful man in the world, wrote in his journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He was surrounded by war, betrayal, disease, and political pressure. But instead of asking, "Why me?" he asked, "How do I use this?" He turned obstacles into teachers, pain into fuel. That's what Stoicism demands. Not comfort, but clarity. Ask yourself, what if everything that went wrong was giving you something? A lesson, a direction, a sharpening of your edge. What if chaos wasn't here to break you, but to forge you? But you'll only know that if you stop resisting it emotionally. You don't have to enjoy suffering, but you can choose not to run from it. Because the more you run from chaos, the more it chases. The third Stoic lesson is this. You become what you practice. And in chaos, most people practice panic. They refresh headlines. They argue online. They drown themselves in distractions and call it self-care. But the Stoic, they train their mind like a soldier. They don't wait for calm to feel peace. They bring peace into the battlefield. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." He meant that most of our pain comes not from the event, but from our story about the event. Not from what happens, but from what we think it means. A Stoic pauses and asks, "Is this within my control?" If yes, act. If no, accept. Then move on. No drama, no story, just discipline. This doesn't mean you become numb. It means you become clear. Clear enough to act with precision. Clear enough to make decisions without being a slave to emotion. Clear enough to carry weight without losing balance. Because here's the truth. You can't think clearly in chaos unless you've trained for chaos. Stoics didn't just sit and write. They prepared. They practiced voluntary discomfort. They imagined worst-case scenarios, not to scare themselves, but to immunize their mind. They fasted, to remind themselves that hunger wouldn't kill them. They slept on the floor, to learn that comfort was optional. They meditated on death, not out of depression, but out of urgency. Memento mori. Remember, you must die. A Stoic reminder not to waste time, not to get stuck in petty worries, because life is too short to panic. In chaos, this mindset gives you armor. It doesn't block emotion. It makes sure emotion doesn't drive. And from that stillness comes power. Imagine being the one person in a meeting who doesn't rush to speak, the one friend who doesn't feed drama, the one leader who doesn't flinch at crisis. That kind of presence? It doesn't come from slogans. It comes from inner work. Daily, quietly, relentlessly. Most people react. You respond. Most people panic. You breathe. Most people fight the chaos. You learn from it. That is strength. Not loud, not flashy, but unshakable. Because true strength is not about controlling others. It's about not being controlled by anything. Not your mood, not your fear, not the noise. It's about owning your attention like a warrior owns his weapon. So, how do you start? Not by reading 100 quotes, not by pretending to be wise, but by doing one thing every day that makes you stronger in discomfort. Choose cold over warm. Choose silence over noise. Choose effort over ease. Choose thought before reaction. Choose action over complaint. Choose presence over panic. And when life starts to feel overwhelming again, and it will, ask yourself, what part of this is mine to control? Then do it. Quietly, fully, and let go of the rest. The storm doesn't care if you're afraid, but it will notice if you're focused. Stand tall, not because the world is calm, but because you are.